Right now, sunny skies and sky-high temperatures this Easter Sunday, but Chris is tracking the return of rain and a little bit of a cool down in his forecast. And this morning, we're getting a sneak peek of the plans for one of the area's newest restaurants set to open this summer. Plus, the Bucs are just one win away from something they haven't done in nearly 20 years. We're looking ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Easter. It is Sunday, April 21st. I'm Josh Breiter. We'll get to meteorologist Chris Reese with his forecast in just a minute. But parts of south central Wisconsin are on river watch this morning, as many river levels across the area are expected to crest today. Emergency management officials in Portage and Columbia County are keeping an eye on the rising Wisconsin River. That river has reached major flood stage and is expected to rise even more during the day. Officials say it won't start receding until Tuesday. This will impact many roads right along the river, especially in the city of Portage. In preparation, the city of Portage has sand and sandbags available for residents at Sunset Park. These are not pre-filled, so you'll have to bring your own shovel. Sauk County residents along Indian Trails near Lake Delton and on Levy Road and Plumbers Grove in the town of Fairfield were asked to find another place to stay overnight, according to emergency management. Columbia County officials are urging residents in the towns of Caledonia and Lewiston to evacuate.
Yes, sir.
As water levels are expected to rise to near historic levels, volunteers pitched in this weekend. One came all the way from Wausau to help out.
If I was down and out, I hope somebody'd help me. You know, that's part of life. You got to help out. And like I say, I worked all my life, 55 years. I don't want to sit home and watch TV. I want to get out and be active. Keep moving.
Emergency officials recommend signing up for the Nixle app by texting your zip code to the number on your screen. That's 888-777 for the latest updates. All right, and now to that first alert forecast. You can see we are already starting off with those sunny skies on this Easter Sunday. We've got a spectacular Sunday ahead. At 7 o'clock, we are at 46 degrees, staying sunny throughout the day and a high in the upper 70s. Later this afternoon, a spectacular Easter Sunday forecast, and this weekend of great weather is continuing. We are going to be talking about the return of some rain showers heading into the work week, and meteorologist Chris Reese will be here in just a few minutes to talk more about that. Remember, you can always stay ahead of the weather by downloading the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app. It is free in the App Store. Breaking now out of Sri Lanka, at least 140 people are dead and 560 are injured after an ongoing string of bombings at churches and luxury hotels this Easter Sunday. The first wave of attacks happened at churches during busy Easter services. Then even more blasts happened at 3 hotels in their capital city. Officials say this is a part of a large coordinated terror attack. This is still a developing story. Stay with Channel3000.com and the app for updates. More local news at 6:33 this morning. Madison's new mayor is wrapping up her first full week in office, and this week, Satya Rhodes-Conway didn't waste any time. She and Dane County Executive Joe Parisi held a joint press conference right after her swearing-in ceremony, announcing they've reached a deal on updating Cottage Grove and Buckeye roads. Previously, fixing the roads lagged as the county and city failed to agree over who was responsible. Looking ahead, County Executive Parisi says he's excited for this new era of collaboration with Madison.
This is a solid, concrete, literally and figuratively, example of what you can achieve when you work together for the common good.
The city and county will share the costs of both projects. Right now, the city of Green Bay is preparing for this week's presidential visit. President Donald Trump is set to hold a rally this coming Saturday, April 27th. It'll be held at the Resch Center starting at 7 p.m. People can register for up to 2 tickets, and all tickets are first come, first served. While we anticipate the economic impact of the 2020 Democratic National Convention in Milwaukee, there is another big event that could actually match it. We're talking about the Ryder Cup. Merchandise for the major golf tournament is already for sale in the clubhouse of Whistling Straits. Experts estimate the tournament could bring in nearly $135 million to the Milwaukee area and beyond. And it's not just businesses. Some people are renting out their homes for thousands of dollars.
Heard stories from $5,000 to $10,000, but and some even more than that. Other than having to live into a hotel or at my parents' house for a couple days, I don't see any other cons.
Major money is expected to be spread throughout the I-43 corridor, with many people traveling to and from Green Bay to experience all the Packers have to offer as well. Well, the Bucs have a chance to clinch their first postseason series win since 2001 tomorrow night after beating the Pistons on the road yesterday. Game 3 was the first time in the series Blake Griffin was able to play. Even with a bad knee, he was able to keep the Pistons close at first, but that didn't last long. Forward Chris Middleton led the Bucs to a 119-103 win, scoring 20 points. Giannis posted a double-double with 14 points and 10 rebounds. Game 4 again is tomorrow at 7 in Detroit. If needed, Game 5 will be played back in Milwaukee Wednesday night. Forward Madison FC has yet to officially play a regular season game on their home field, but that changes this week at Breese-Stevens Field. After several games on the road, this coming Saturday will be the team's home opener. Seating and concessions will be limited, but the team's chief operating officer says the game will be a good chance to get an idea of what matches will be like. The players, meanwhile, are looking forward to getting out on their home turf.
Finally, now that the weather's breaking and turning, they can have a home facility, and they've been traveling south for their other games. They're ready to host a match here and play at home in front of what's been a great, enthusiastic home crowd.
Their first official game at Breese-Stevens Field is next Saturday, April 27th, starting at 7 when they take on the Greenville Triumph. Earlier that day, the Crazy Legs Classic will step off on the UW campus rather than the square this year. We learned this week that Joe Thomas will be the Grand Marshal. Thomas played football at Wisconsin in the mid-2000s and was first team All-American in 2006. He played 11 seasons in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns and will be a first ballot Hall of Famer when he's eligible in 4 years. The 36th annual Crazy Legs Classic begins just before 10 o'clock next Saturday. Right now, the Milwaukee Brewers are offering free tickets to veterans and active military personnel for Sunday games this season. You'll need to show your military ID or DD-214 at the box office on the day of the game to receive 2 terrace-level tickets. Military personnel can also get half off 4 tickets anywhere in the park for Sunday games. 6:37 right now. It is Easter Sunday, but not everyone has somewhere to go and someone to share a meal with today. That's where Clausen's Bakery comes in. Easter is the bakery's busiest day of the year, not just because they're serving paying customers, but because they're also donating free community meals. This year, you will find dozens of Clausen's coffee, cakes, and breads at First United Methodist Church on Wisconsin Avenue, just blocks from the Capitol. This weekend, Clausen's will sell more than 1,000 quiches and 700 chocolate-covered pound egg-shaped cakes.
Nobody should be hungry, and just to provide people with food and the community, like you said, we've been part of it for 60 years, so I'm just giving back.
This year's free Easter brunch starts at 12:30 and goes until 2. Again, that's at the First United Methodist Church. Everyone is welcome. We have all of this information on our website. Teaching has been called one of the most important jobs someone can have, but school districts are finding it more difficult to hire new teachers and keep them around. In Wisconsin, it's a huge problem. Schools say there's been a huge decrease in the number of students looking to go into the education field. A task force team at UW-Madison is working to figure out possible solutions to that problem.
One thing that we heard is this feeling that they don't always have the support they need from parents and the public, which is why the task force is not just focused on this question of how do we get more people into teacher education, but how do we raise the public's esteem for teaching and teachers.
Coming up just after 7, our Jamie Perez talks to teachers about why fewer people are interested in the job and how the task force needs your help to come up with a solution. That story coming up in about 30 minutes. More local news now. If you've ever considered getting professional photos but never had a good enough reason to do it, this might be your chance. A Lake Mills couple takes family portraits and donates all of the money they make off each photo session to the American Family Children's Hospital. They've been doing it for years now. They say it's a great way to give back to a place that helps so many people.
We were trying to decide what charity we would like to donate to when we first were thinking about this project, and then we just came across, well, of course we need to donate to the Children's Hospital. It's a children's project.
If you're interested in getting your pictures taken or would like to contribute to their cause, you can find everything you need to know on the Channel 3000 mobile app. American Family Insurance is helping the growth of UW-Madison's research in data science. The company announced it will invest $20 million in UW data science initiatives, including $10 million in research over the next 10 years and a $10 million endowment to create the American Family Insurance Data Science Institute on campus. The funding will help advance studies in fields such as artificial intelligence, genetics, drug development, material science, and business. If you're walking along East Wash today, check out the latest project there. Hotel Indigo has opened its doors. The unique hotel, rich in Madison history, officially made its debut April 11th in the old Mounts Paint Warehouse, featuring plenty of splashes of color as a tribute. It also incorporates photos of prominent local residents from years gone by, people like Frank Lloyd Wright, Val Phillips, and Georgia O'Keeffe. While the hotel has been open for a few weeks, the restaurant inside, the Palette Bar and Grill, opens April 29th. We're also getting a sneak peek this morning of the plans for a restaurant coming to the $60 million Monona Riverfront development. The new Buck and Honey's location will have designated boat slips for people coming in from Lake Wabisa and Lake Monona. The restaurant already has one location in Sun Prairie. This new space will seat 180 people in the main dining area, 150 people out on the outdoor patio, and also feature bars on 2 levels. That's set to open July 1st. All right, 6:41 this morning. Our spectacular weekend of weather continues into your Easter Sunday. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside this morning. Already off to a beautiful start with that sun already shining bright out there. Chris is in next to tell us just how warm we're going to get today and when we can expect the return for some showers. This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good Sunday morning and happy Easter to all of you guys out there. And it's as if Mother Nature knew the day with an absolutely fantastic sunrise this morning. And here's how things are looking in Platteville as well. Again, a beautiful sunrise there, which Platteville's common for taking the cake with that when it comes to the mornings. But overall, this Sunday will be an absolutely spectacular day. Here's a live look over Madison right now. The temperature sitting at 46 degrees and winds starting to increase out of the south and southeast. We're going to see that southerly wind continue to increase as we go throughout the day. Hold on to that. Right now, temperatures are mainly in the 40s and even some 50s showing up across the board. 47 in Janesville right now, or Monroe rather, 43 in Janesville. Mineral Point is at 52 degrees and then 53 as you work your way up towards La Crosse earlier on this morning. But here are those wind speeds. You see those streamlines starting to work their way out of the south. But as we go through time throughout the morning and into the afternoon, we're going to watch those wind speeds continue to increase out of the south. It's not going to be all out windy, but still a little bit breezy out there. And when you have a strong south wind and sunshine, that is when you really start to see those temperatures take off, which is exactly what we are going to see happen today. We have a little bit of shower activity across parts of southern Minnesota, but this whole system overall is a part of a warm front that came through earlier yesterday, and then you have high pressure to the south, and that, my friends, is why we're going to be seeing those warmer temperatures as we go throughout the day before that cold front comes in and begins to cool things off next week. So let's focus on today for now. We'll see those temperatures in the mid-50s as we get towards 9 to 9:30 or so. By lunchtime, we're talking temperatures already in the low 70s with that breezy south wind. Some cloud cover moves in, especially north of Madison this afternoon. We'll see those highs in the upper 70s. And folks with a strong south wind and enough sunshine will see those highs approaching 80, if not exceeding 80 degrees today. So watch those thermometers really closely, folks. More cloud cover moves in into Monday, and then Monday afternoon, that's where we're going to see those rounds of showers and thunderstorms working back into the picture. Now, Monday will not be a washout as a whole, but still you're going to have those chances of showers and thunderstorms. So the moral of the story there is make sure that you enjoy today while you can. How much rain are we looking at? I do think most of the rain is going to be just north of us, but still we could see a solid ½ inch to an inch of rain here in the Madison area. And of course, a lot of those waterways are already high, so that's going to be something to pay close attention to. I don't think flash flooding, though, will be a major concern as these storms come on through. But we will see those temperatures coming back down into early next week. They will still be above average, though, with temperatures in the upper 60s and even some low 70s returning to the picture, along with more sunshine, folks, by the middle of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday look fantastic within themselves, and then more rain chances will arrive as we approach next weekend. So enjoy today while you can, and enjoy the middle of the week as you can as well.
Yeah, really not much to complain about in that forecast, but boy, did we get lucky this weekend.
Yes, we did. The only downside might be allergies, but even still, I think folks are pretty happy.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
6:48 right now. Let's see what's ahead for us on CBS Sunday Morning.
Lee Cowan is filling in for Jane Pauley this weekend on CBS Sunday Morning. Hi, Lee. I understand one of the stories this weekend focuses on one of the most well-known books of our time.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. To Kill a Mockingbird. I mean, it started off as, the novel, then it became the acclaimed movie. Now it's an acclaimed production on Broadway as well. It's starring none other than Jeff Daniels in the lead role. And as he told our Tracy Smith, it's a role he takes very seriously.
Is this the role of a lifetime?
Yeah, this is the role of a lifetime. And my job is to give the performance of my life 8 times a week. It's that big a deal. It's Atticus Finch, There's a long line of actors who would kill to play this role. And it's going to be a long time before they get to do that.
Now, Mark, this isn't just an adaptation of a novel. What they're really trying to do is expose a whole new generation to Kill a Mockingbird. So they're offering cut-rate tickets to students of New York City schools so they can come see the play. They've even taken it on the road to a couple of schools. It's got a few modern adaptations to it as well, but they're really trying to get a new audience for this book that's been voted one of the most beloved stories of all time. Yeah, so it's a great project.
Yeah, it really is. I understand you also have a very moving piece on the show this week.
Yeah, we went to London to visit a very special choir. It's a choir made up entirely of the families of missing loved ones. They started this choir originally to help raise awareness of the hundreds of thousands of people who go missing every year in the UK. But in the process of singing together, they found out that it was actually very therapeutic as well, especially for one dad whose son has been missing now for more than 30 years.
Wow. If he is in heaven, then I just pray that he can hear us and that he will know that we're still thinking of him, that we still love him.
Now, Mark, that choir actually made it all the way to the semifinals of Britain's Got Talent. They didn't win, but they got really close. They got a standing ovation. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. But the best part about it was because of all of that publicity, at least 6 missing people were reunited with their families. So it really is a choir with a purpose.
Perfect Easter weekend story. Lee, we'll see you Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
And you can watch CBS Sunday morning at 8 o'clock right after this show. 6:50 is your time right now. We have a warning from Dane County officials as the local landfill is almost full and will soon reach capacity. What they're asking you to do to help with this growing problem. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back. Across the state, you will be seeing more of this in the next few weeks. Controlled burns of prairie land. This was the scene from Sky 3 earlier this week on the south side of Verona. Low winds and dry conditions help those doing the burns keep them under control. Officials say the Dane County landfill is almost full and there's less than 15 years until it reaches capacity. Once that happens, the county will have to spend millions of either expanding their site or find a new location. but you could help them buy some time. They say a lot of things that end up in the trash could be recycled. The problem is a lot of people don't know what can and can't be recycled.
The simplest answer is take a look at your local recycling website or give them a call and ask them what can go in the bin and what can't.
The Dane County landfill accepts recyclables with the numbers 1 through 7 written at the bottom, but every community's recycling center will accept something different. A simple Google search can tell you what you can and can't recycle in your community. Now, this news comes just one day before Earth Day, when hundreds of thousands of people worldwide will plant trees, clean up trash, and learn how to better take care of our planet. Wisconsin native Gaylord Nelson founded Earth Day back in 1970. Nelson earned his law degree at UW-Madison, then went on to politics, serving as a U.S. Senator for 18 years. In the 60s, he started a grassroots teach-in event for some 20 million Americans. After that day, Congress took note of how many people cared for or cared about conservation, sparking a decade of sweeping environmental legislation to protect our water, air, and natural resources. We have a traffic alert starting tomorrow. There's a major closure on University Avenue in Middleton from Parmenter Street to Park Street. The road will be closed in both directions as crews begin the first phase of reconstruction work in that area. It's not expected to be open until early July. We do want to point out, though, businesses in that area will still be accessible during construction. All right, coming up on 6:56 this morning, there's a full hour of more local news ahead for us on News 3 Now this morning. But first, here's a preview of what's to come on an all-new For the Record.
Good morning, I'm Mark Kane, filling in for Neil Heinen, and today on For the Record, we'll introduce you to one of the members of the Milwaukee 2020 Bid Committee, responsible for bringing the 2020 Democratic National Convention to Milwaukee next July. The Pfizer's Forum is the brand new arena for the Milwaukee Bucks that opened in the fall of 2018. The state-of-the-art facility will be the site for the convention, and I'll be talking with Alex Lassery. He's the Bucks Vice President and Chair of the Milwaukee 2020 Bid Committee. That's coming up on News 3 at 10:30 right here on News 3 Now.
Right now, districts across the state are finding it more difficult to hire new teachers and also keep them around. We'll tell you what you need to know only on News 3 Now.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for staying with us on this Easter Sunday. It is April 21st. I hope your day's off to a wonderful start already. I'm Josh Brighter. Meteorologist Chris Reese has details on a spectacular forecast on this Sunday. We'll get to him in just a moment, but first, right to today's headlines. We are on River Watch this morning as emergency management officials in Columbia and Sauk counties are keeping an eye on the rising Wisconsin River. A slow no-wake order is in effect right now, and crews are expecting the river to crest at more than 20 feet by tonight. They expect the river to start receding by Tuesday. This will impact the roads right along it. More than 30 families have already been asked to evacuate overnight. We have multiple crews covering this flooding and its effects this weekend, so be sure to download the Channel 3000 mobile app for the latest updates. Well, as we mentioned, it is Easter Sunday, and Clausen's Bakery is helping make sure everyone has somewhere to go and someone to share a meal with this holiday. Easter is the bakery's busiest day of the year, not just because they're serving paying customers, but because they're donating free community meals. This year, you'll find dozens of Clausen's coffee cakes and breads at the First United Methodist Church on Wisconsin Avenue. Brunch starts at 12:30 and goes until 2, and everyone is welcome. The Milwaukee Brewers are offering free tickets to veterans and active military personnel for Sunday games this season. You'll need to show your military ID or DD-214 at the box office on the day of the game to receive 2 terrace-level tickets. Military personnel can also get half off 4 tickets anywhere in the park for Sunday games. All right, over to meteorologist Chris Reese on this Easter Sunday with just a spectacular forecast. Hey, Chris.
Good morning, Josh. That's right. Absolutely beautiful weather here across Wisconsin as we go through today. Temperatures starting out on a milder note, too. 46 degrees is our temperature right now. And notice the winds coming out of the south and southwest at 3 miles per hour. That south wind is going to be increasing as we go through the day. That's going to help promote some warmer temperatures around here. Here's the streamlines right now showing you those winds coming out of the south. A 7-mile-per-hour wind over towards Platteville right now, 6-mile-per-hour wind in Mineral Point. But by the time we get you towards the afternoon, that could be a 17, a 16, and a 13. So we are going to watch that south wind increase. And the south wind, especially after a warm front has come through, which came through yesterday, and with high to our south, is usually a recipe for some warming temperatures. We will want to watch, though, the overall systems to our west. Those will be bringing in some rain chances early next week. So enjoy the weather that we have out there today. Sunshine, some cloud cover mixing in, and we'll see those temperatures top out around 78 degrees. And I do think if some folks get enough sunshine, they will see those highs near 80. Josh?
Wow. Thanks, Chris. All right, 7:02 is your time. So the forecast obviously looking very quiet this Easter Sunday, but we also need to keep in mind we have entered severe weather season. This brings the possibility of things like hail and tornadoes in the coming weeks and months. Keith Hulbert with Iowa County Management, or Emergency Management, says you should stay informed during this time. He suggests getting a weather radio, signing up for local alerts, and stay tuned to your local news like here at Channel 3 during these storms. All of this will help you be better prepared.
Pay attention. Make sure that you know that you're in the know, and make sure that you have a plan. So if you're going to be out and about doing family things or whatever, that when something does happen, you know what you're going to do, where you're going to go, how you're going to get safe, that kind of thing.
You can sign up for alerts in Iowa County by going to their website. Remember, you can always stay ahead of the weather by downloading the free Channel 3000 First Alert weather app and be the first to know. Breaking right now out of Sri Lanka, where at least 140 people are dead and 560 are injured after an ongoing string of bombings at churches and luxury hotels this Easter Sunday. The first wave of attacks happened at churches during busy Easter services. Then even more blasts happened at 3 hotels in their capital city. Officials say this is part of a large coordinated terror attack. This is a developing story, and you can stay with Channel3000.com and the app for updates. More local news this morning. Teaching has been called one of the most important jobs of our time, but school districts are finding it more and more difficult to not only hire quality teachers, but also get them to stay. Jamie Perez shows us how a task force at the UW is trying to find solutions and what some of our very own teachers are suggesting we do to fix it.
Pick a 2-digit number.
For the past 21 years, adding numbers has been Jennifer Murphy's specialty.
Find the sum of 78 and 87.
In this small class she teaches at UW-Madison, she can do what she loves every day.
It's just like a step-by-step thing for students.
But this small class represents a bigger equation that she and many other teachers in our country are working to solve.
I can vividly remember having to really sift through applicant upon applicant for jobs, and now we have jobs that go unfilled.
Something that contributes to the reason why Jennifer's class is so small. These are her only students looking to become teachers.
There are so many things being pulled on teachers, so many extra demands that are even beyond the scope of our administrators in our buildings. The teachers are really struggling with how to put up boundaries, what to say no to, what they can and can't say no to, and just how to navigate all of that while keeping their own mental health and well-being at the same time.
The University of Wisconsin system put together a task force team to find possible solutions.
Over the last 10 years, the UW systems and colleges of education have seen a dramatic decrease of student enrollment in teacher education programs.
Deb Kerr helps lead the task force effort alongside Diana Hess, who's the Dean of Education here at UW-Madison. Together, they are leading the effort to combat the teacher shortage here in Wisconsin. And what they found is felt by teachers everywhere.
And teachers are concerned about coming out of college, having student loan debt in many cases, and then having relatively low salaries.
But salary and student loans are just part of the problem. Jennifer said she's spoken to a number of teachers who have said the other issues include poor work conditions, unsupportive administrators, short staffing related stress, and a lack of qualified applicants.
It is really hard, or even more overworked and overburdened and overstressed. So less positivity happens as a result.
Jennifer says while she wants to see more teachers being hired, she wants to make sure they are right for the job.
I don't want to feel like we're convincing people they should go into teaching. It's not a profession that I want to feel like we're dragging someone into. But if people are feeling a calling to teach, what is it that's holding them back?
Diana Hess said it could be how the public views teaching as a profession.
Feeling that they don't always have the support they need from parents and the public.
A problem Jennifer says could make teachers feel like they're in a profession that has little value to the rest of the world.
I think it's because they care so much. They care so much about the work. Sorry. Yeah, it's the opposite. And they feel like they can't do enough.
Despite all these issues, there are still people who want to go into this field. One of Jennifer's own students, Andrew Close, is one of them.
So even though it is exhausting so many days of the week, there's nothing that can beat a moment when you just see a light bulb go off in a student's head.
Andrew is entering a field he knows is suffering, but says it's the teachers who have impacted his life in such a meaningful way that have inspired him to do this.
Teachers in my life that just took time to care about me, offer additional support outside of class time, and just be great role models in my life.
The people make it worth it for Andrew and Jennifer and many others. Although salary is part of the solution, Jennifer says that may not solve the bigger problems that teachers face.
I worry sometimes when public perception is that teacher salary is going to fix everything, because it really isn't. There's a lot of other variables at play here that make teaching and working in schools challenging right now, that just teacher salary alone is not a sufficient fix.
So what is a sufficient fix? Well, that's something the task force is still trying to answer. But for now, the numbers don't lie. And until something can add up, they'll continue to look for a solution.
Okay, so so it doesn't work for the second iteration, so do it again.
In Madison, Jamie Perez, News 3 Now.
So 726.
The task force doing this study says if you'd like to give feedback into possible solutions to the teacher shortage, they are welcoming public comment on their website until mid-May. A link to that can be found on our website. Their goal is to have a full report out by June. 7:08 right now, the city of Sun Prairie is continuing its process to rebuild after last year's deadly explosion. The city's newly created steering committee met for the first time this week to go over redevelopment plans for the downtown area. During the meeting, members discussed the multi-phase project with planners, which also includes a new brand for the city, something the mayor hopes the community can help with over the coming months.
I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the process. We looked at planners very thoroughly, so we're pleased with these planners. And I like the start of this meeting. I like the energy that was in the room.
Mayor Esser says when all is said and done, he hopes the redevelopment project will be complete in the next 6 months. Ground is now broken for the newest Boys and Girls Club in Sun Prairie. The nonprofit is turning a former church on Windsor Street into a daycare and youth center. The club bought the 26,000 square foot facility for $1.2 million. Michael Johnson, CEO of Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, says the facility will be up and running by January 2020. UW-Madison students are working with Wisconsin Brewing Company to learn about beer making. Wild Lager is going to be the 5th beer released in the campus craft brewery program. The beer is going to be used with yeast that was discovered for the first time in North America near Sheboygan by a UW-Madison professor of genetics. This new strain of yeast is hardest to brew because of the certain sugars and proteins, and it can create an inefficient brewing process in an overly sweet beer. But by evolving a new protein in the past year in that yeast, Campus Craft Brewery was able to produce a dry, crisp beer.
Now what we're doing is we're taking the yeast component and tracing back a very original strain of yeast, perhaps that began the lager yeast 500 years ago. That's some type of hybrid, and it's really interesting because the lager that we're creating today is going to have a Belgian spin to it. It's going to have a little more fruitiness in the flavor, a little more complex contribution to the overall beer.
We have a list of the other beers developed in the craft beer program at channel3000.com. We're learning more about a $750,000 grant being given to the UW to help create a new dairy beverage product. The Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, or WISC, announced this grant this week to help build what they are calling a beverage innovation center on campus. They'll work to create new dairy products that don't need to be refrigerated like these. It's an expensive process which includes rapidly heating up the dairy, then packaging it into sterile containers. The benefit? These products would stay fresh for months. Organizers say it is popular in Europe, but it has been slow to catch on here in the U.S. All right, 11 minutes past 7 o'clock right now. We're already off to a beautiful start this Easter Sunday. Let's take a live look outside. There's the Capitol in downtown. Chris is talking the sunshine and warm temps before the return of some average April weather, including some showers. Keep watching News 3 Now this morning.
Well, good morning. It is a beautiful Saturday, or Sunday rather, here in Madison, Wisconsin. And then, of course, we're seeing plenty of sunshine taking over as well. 46 degrees right now at the airport. Winds coming out of the south and southwest at 3 miles per hour. That southwest wind is really going to help warm things up as we go throughout the day. 52 right now in Mineral Point. Monroe already at 48. You head over towards Milwaukee, and we see temperatures at 49. So this is a mild start, folks. These were where our overnight lows fell to, and even still we're watching those temperatures continue to take off already this morning, and that is because we do have winds out of the south, and they're going to be increasing out of the south as we go throughout the day. So here we are by 4 o'clock. Notice some of those wind speeds sustained at 15 miles per hour here in town, 19 and 20 miles per hour as you work your way just towards the south and west. And of course, that's really helping to usher in those warmer temperatures as we go throughout the day. A little bit of rain as you work your way towards parts of Minnesota. That's all associated with the region of low pressure across the northern part of the state. That same system is what brought a warm front through earlier on yesterday, and that is why we are seeing some of those warmer temperatures as well. High pressure to the south is keeping that sunshine around for the southern half of the state. More cloud cover and rain chances for the northern half of Wisconsin. By 9 o'clock today, expect those temperatures to make it about 10 degrees warmer than they are now, reaching the low 70s by lunchtime. And watch how the cloud cover starts to filter in from the west as our highs start to peak right around 78. This could be the one thing that stops some folks from hitting 80, but I do think a lot of folks could see that 80-degree mark today, especially if we can keep that cloud cover off and allow more sunshine to work its way on through. Once we get beyond today, though, more cloud cover works in, and then here comes the rain chances as we go into your Monday. And it's not going to be a washout of a Monday, but still multiple chances for rain as we go throughout your day, and temperatures will be held in check into the 60s. Overall, what this is a cold front starting to work its way towards the south, but it's going to run into that high pressure in the south and east and actually stall out as more waves of low pressure ride along it. That is going to mean multiple rain chances this week before that finally gets to work its way towards the south as a cold front and we begin to dry out. And we could see a nice drink of water. I do think the heaviest rain will be north of Madison, but even still, we could see half an inch upwards to an inch of rain. And of course, our ground is very wet. So we're going to watch that, though the good news is I don't think we'll have to worry about flash flooding from that system at all. Mainly just rain and then the colder temperatures that will come back into town. I say colder, still cooler, but we will be above average with temperatures still staying in the 60s and perhaps even low 70s as we get you towards early next week. And then by the middle of the week, we'll actually see more sunshine returning to the picture as well before more rain chances by next weekend. So enjoy today and enjoy those middle 3 days of the upcoming work week, Josh.
I am certainly jealous of you already out there this morning, Chris.
It feels fantastic. I will tell you that. And listening to it's just a good outside day overall.
Perfect for Easter Sunday.
Yes, it is,
All right,
sir.
Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and Kenton Fowler emailed us this picture, and we love it when Kenton sends in his pictures. He calls this the Monday moonset over the Capitol and the lake there. An incredible shot. Thank you so much for sharing, Kenton. What does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it to our Channel 3000 social media pages using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. Well, the Bucks have a chance to clinch their first postseason series win since 2001 tomorrow night. This after beating the Pistons on the road last night. Game 3 was the first time in the series Blake Griffin was able to play. Even with a bad knee, he was able to keep the Pistons close at first, but that didn't last long. Forward Chris Middleton led to the Bucks in the 119-103 win, scoring 20 points. Giannis posted a double-double with 14 points and 10 rebounds. Game 4 again is tomorrow night at 7 in Detroit. And if needed, Game 5 would be played in Milwaukee Wednesday night. Well, we know at least one fan who is thrilled about last night's win. A doctor here in Wisconsin is wearing his Bucks pride loud and proud. Years ago, Dr. David Margolis promised he'd let his patients dye his hair green if the Bucks made it to the playoffs. Well, now it's become a tradition, one that shows his Wisconsin roots, but also helps out his patients.
We have some very difficult conversations, but we also here at Children's Hospital Wisconsin want kids to be kids. And kids to be kids is child life, painting, having fun, and spray painting the doctor's hair tends to be a pretty fun event for all involved.
Margolis' patients will dye his hair before every playoff game, and he hopes to have green hair going well into June. Well, we already knew the Packers would open the 2019 season against the Chicago Bears, but now we know how the rest of the schedule looks. The NFL released its 2019 regular season schedule this week. The Packers will have their 5 of their first 7 games at home, and they'll be featured in a handful of primetime games. It starts with the opener at Chicago Thursday, September 5th, and they'll have another Thursday game at home against the Eagles in September. There's a Monday night and Sunday night game in October, and then the rematch with the Vikings December 23rd in Green Bay. That'll be a Monday night game. You can find the schedule on channel3000.com/sports. All right, 7:20 is your time right now. Patients with chronic conditions are hoping a new proposal will help them get the medications they need with fewer hurdles to jump through. And if you've been relying on DNA testing companies to inform you of your breast cancer chances, think twice. We'll explain on News 3 Now this morning.
Plenty of sunshine for your Easter Sunday. We're going to see those warmer temperatures coming into the mix as well, starting out in the mid-40s this morning. And as you start to head off to any Easter morning services, that's what we can expect in terms of temperatures. But we do get better as we go throughout the day, folks. In fact, by the time we get you towards lunchtime, we're going to see those temperatures approaching the low 70s, topping out into the upper 70s for highs this afternoon. And with enough sunshine, some folks could take a run at 80. Josh?
All right, Chris, thank you. 7:24 right now. And on the Health Watch this morning, the state's popular prescription drug program for senior citizens will be in place for at least the next 10 years. The governor celebrated the news following the federal government's notification of the 10-year extension last Friday. Senior care is available to people aged 65 and older. Right now, about 50,000 people are on that program. Senior care costs $30 for a year for participants and makes prescription drugs available for between $5 and $15. This extension is unusual since the most recent 3-year extension expired at the end of last year. Patients with chronic conditions are hoping a new proposal will help them get the medications they need with fewer hurdles to jump through. Lawmakers held a joint public hearing this week on a bill that would reform step therapy. It's the practice where a doctor prescribes a medication and an insurance company wants the patient to instead try a different option, a cheaper drug first. Some patients say this has led to them using the wrong meds for months or longer. Under the bill, the patient could ask for an exception to the step therapy protocol. Insurance companies would be forced to grant or deny the request within 3 days or 1 day during emergencies. A new study finds the DNA testing company 23andMe may not offer a reliable way to detect most breast cancer risks. We're talking about the study done by the New Journal of American Medicine. Researchers suggest nearly 90% of people who carry the BRCA mutation would have been missed by the company's test. They say most carry the other mutations of the gene, not the 3 variants 23andMe tests. The company says the report was conducted by a potential competitor and the results are, quote, overblown. 7:26 this morning, we are looking ahead to Earth Day tomorrow and the local connection to the global event, plus the activities happening to celebrate. And Thursday is Take Your Kid to Work Day, and we're getting in the spirit and getting a head start this morning thanks to Olive Garden and our photographer's daughter, Ruby, cooking up a storm. This is News 3 Now This Morning. Stay with us.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Easter Sunday. It is April 21st. Thanks for staying with News 3 Now. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a spectacular Sunday forecast for you in just a moment. But first, let's get right to today's headlines. We are on River Watch this morning as emergency management officials in Sauk and Columbia counties are keeping an eye on the rising Wisconsin River. That river is expected to crest tonight. A slow no wake order is in effect right now, and officials are warning the river will rise throughout the entire day. They expect it to start receding on Tuesday. Now, this will impact the roads right along the river, where several homes were evacuated overnight. For the latest on flooding, be sure to download the Channel 3000 mobile app for updates. As we mentioned, it is Easter Sunday, and Clausen's Bakery is helping make sure everyone has somewhere to go and someone to share a meal with this holiday. Easter is the bakery's busiest day of the year, not just because they're serving paying customers, but because they're also donating to free community meals. This year, you will find dozens of Clausen's coffee cakes and breads at the First United Methodist Church on Wisconsin Avenue. Brunch starts at 12:30 and goes until 2, and everyone is welcome. All right, a traffic alert starting tomorrow. A major closure on University Avenue in Middleton from Parmenter Street to Park Street. The road will be closed in both directions as crews begin the first phase of reconstruction work in that area. It's not expected to reopen until early July. Businesses in that area will still be accessible during construction. All right, 7:31 right now. Let's say hello once again to meteorologist Chris Reese. Happy Easter, Chris.
Happy Easter, Josh, and happy Easter to all of you guys at home. One of the things you'll notice right off the bat is that we are much warmer this morning as opposed to yesterday morning by about 14 degrees here in town. Some folks as much as 20 to 23 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. So we have felt the warmer temperatures coming into town along with plenty of sunshine. If you were up early enough, we had an absolutely spectacular pastel sunrise. Temperatures are still in the mid-40s right now, and eventually we're going to start to watch those temperatures work their way into the 50s. Some folks are already doing that. 52 in Mineral Point. Platteville has made it to 51, 53 in the Dells as well, and we will be in the 50s here in Madison before too long. So just hold on to your hats there. In fact, 60s by 10 o'clock, 70s by lunchtime, and then it's possible that some folks could see 80 degrees today, but right now we do have our forecast high at 78, as I do think some cloud cover moving in this afternoon could keep those temperatures from warming up too much. But overall, it will be a pretty beautiful day. Josh.
News, Chris. Thank you. It is 7:32 right now. Scammers are preying on local fans of musical Hamilton, which is coming to Madison this fall. Recently, this post pretending to come from the official Hamilton Facebook page entered onto many Madison area residents' feeds, claiming to have the final few tickets left. But Overture Center officials say it is fake. They've reported it to Facebook. Unfortunately, though, they still don't believe this is the only one out there.
A lot of times, these third-party websites can seem legitimate, but a lot of times we also have people who said, yeah, the site felt weird, but I still bought through it. So if your spider sense is tingling that this feels wrong and it's not really right, these prices are too high, call us to check.
Right now, the only way to get your tickets is if you're a Overture season ticket holder. Individual tickets will go on sale sometime after May. Samsung's highly anticipated foldable phone is about to hit the market, but there are reports of some major glitches. Several tech experts who were sent to the $2,000 phone to review are seeing serious issues. It started for Bloomberg Tech's Mark Gurman when he took off a protective layer. After that, the screen no longer worked. In a statement, Samsung says they will thoroughly inspect these units in person to determine the cause of the matter, and they still plan to go ahead with the April 26th rollout.
Samsung's not going to postpone. They're going to go full steam ahead, and that's because it's very important for them to be a fast mover in this space. Foldable phones are coming. It's not just Samsung making them. There are other companies too.
Experts say if you're thinking of getting a Fold, you might want to wait a little bit to make sure the glitches are not widespread. Well, Earth Day is tomorrow, and hundreds of thousands of people across the globe will be planting trees, cleaning up trash, and learning about how we can take care of our planet better. Wisconsin native Gaylord Nelson founded Earth Day back in 1970. Nelson earned his law degree at UW-Madison and then went on to politics, serving as a U.S. Senator for 18 years. In the 60s, he started a grassroots teach-in event for some 20 million Americans. After that day, Congress took note of how many people cared about conservation and sparking a decade of sweeping environmental legislation to protect our water, air, and natural resources. There's a chance for you to learn about climate change and how your family can help in finding a solution on this Earth Day. The Nelson Institute is hosting its 2019 Earth Day conference at the Monona Terrace. Scientists and policymakers will talk about stories from around the world, from the flooding we saw here in Wisconsin last year to record heat waves seen on islands in the Pacific Ocean. That exhibition starts at 7:30 tomorrow morning. Just go to the website on your screen to register. General admission is $75 and kids get in for $15. All right, well, Take Your Kid to Work Day is this Thursday, and we're getting a head start this morning. Eric Hendershot from Olive Garden is here with a special stand-in daughter, our photographer, Chris's little girl, Ruby. Good morning, you two.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, and we've got a whole spread out here on the table. What are we talking about?
That's for sure. So we're here really to celebrate Take Your Child to Work Day coming up this Thursday. We're really excited about it. We like to have fun with it at Olive Garden. So we definitely coordinate some stuff in a restaurant. Every restaurant kind of varies, but you know, we're having our own staff bring their kids in. We can make kids pizzas and things like that, to a little interactive, see what their parents do. So it's pretty fun.
Awesome. So we've got Ruby here to help us out this morning, and what are we
Correct.
going to be working on?
We're actually going to make lasagna.
All right.
We understand, you know, everyone lives a busy life, and you know, great thing about lasagna is we can prep it in advance. You can prep it the day before and cook it that, you know, the next day if you need to. So we're going to kind of get our hands dirty a little bit and have some fun.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So first, we recommend we'd spray the baking pan here with some Pam spray. Then, Ruby, if you could help me, we're gonna put a scoop of sauce in here, right? All right. Fantastic.
There we go.
All right, and then we'll kind of spread it around, okay? And then we'll put a layer of lasagna noodles in there. And can you put a scoop of cheese on there for me? Appreciate it. Fantastic. You can get a little spatula here. We'll kind of spread that around. And then we kind of do a layer of cheese. All right. Thanks for your help.
Ruby knows our way around the kitchen the way it looks.
That's right. We'll do another layer of sauce here. And we'll do another layer of pasta. So we kind of keep repeating that step here. Go over and over again here. Another scoop of cheese for me, please. All right. It's looking good. Fantastic. Can you put a little more cheese on there for me? Appreciate it.
Anything you try to really tackle with lasagna, you know, you can kind of make it to your taste, but what are kind of the things that you make sure that you're getting in there?
Oh, you know, we really focus on just real high quality ingredients. You know, the sauces you can kind of interchange, you know, depending on your preferences. You know, at least with cheese, we use a ricotta Parmesan mozzarella blend. So that's kind of what we use as our standard. But I know, you know, some guests prefer, you know, different cheeses, so they can kind of intermix themselves there. All right, another layer of pasta. All right, we're just about there. So let's just do a little bit of sauce on top, and then we'll top it with some cheese, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Layers on layers.
Layers on layers, that's right. And then we recommend baking this for about 45 minutes to an hour at about 325.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's put a little bit more. You can't have enough cheese, right?
No. Especially here in Wisconsin, right?
Exactly. All right. And then this is kind of like a finished product here, what it would look like.
That's good.
Yeah. And then we also offer some great options. Of course, if you're not able to, you know, make your own lasagna at home, you know, hopefully you'd come join me and my staff at Olive Garden. We'd be glad to have you, that's for sure.
And of course, you can't have a lasagna without the sides, right? The breadsticks and the salad.
You can't go wrong, right? Breadsticks are everyone's favorite.
So if people are interested in coming and checking you guys out, where can they find you?
I'm located at the Easttown Madison location in front of Easttown Mall. So I'm there, you know, 5 days a week. So come see me. Please say hi. Looking forward to meeting everybody.
All right, Take Your Kid to Work Day is this Thursday.
This Thursday, correct.
All right, well, Eric and Ruby, thank you for helping us out this morning.
All right, thank you.
You did great.
Awesome.
All right, it is 7:39 right now, and football season is not as far away as it may seem. The Badger football team is continuing their spring practices. We're going to hear from Coach Chris with how the rebuilding process is going. And there are several road closures and construction updates to know about before you hit the road next week. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning. We'll be right back.
Good Sunday morning. Happy Easter, folks. Temperatures starting out into the upper 40s and even some low 50s. We're at 46 right now in Madison. As we go throughout the day, though, things do get a lot better for us in that temperature department. We are talking highs near 78, mostly sunny today as well, but we will see some additional cloud cover coming into the mix. We are not going to see much rain around here from that cloud cover yet. However, back towards the north and west, there's a cold front coming through along with another storm system that is starting to develop on the eastern side of the Rockies. That means more rain chances will be coming in the week ahead. I'll touch on that in Maine weather. Josh.
All right, Chris, we'll see you in just a bit. The Badger football team is gearing up for next season with the last of several spring practices. Head coach Paul Chryst says spring practice is a time to challenge the players to see what they're capable of. So far, he says he feels encouraged by the progression of the safeties, but thinks the cornerbacks need a little work yet. He knows that some of these guys might not be ready to play every single snap in every single game, but is confident each player will find their role.
Come fall, we want to get the best 11 out there every play, and if that's 20 snaps for you, if that's what you can be your best, then that's your role. But which it was in a lot of cases last year. But with injuries, they had to play more, and just trying to find out who can handle what at this point. And come fall, I expect some big competitions.
Well, Badgers players will certainly have some nice weather for practices this week. Let's take a live look over the Capitol and downtown this Sunday morning. Already a beautiful start out there. Chris is updating our forecast when we come back. But first, happy birthday to all of the kids turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us on News 3 Now this morning.
We have a shot at hitting 80 degrees today. I don't know that we will do it, but the chance is there. Yes, I'm saying that there's a chance. If we do so, we would be ahead of schedule. Typically, we don't hit 80 until May 5th. But the reason I want to point that out is just because we hit our first 50 ahead of schedule. We hit our first 60 ahead of schedule, and our 70 was right on schedule. So we're going to be watching those temperatures as we go throughout the day. Already, they're a lot warmer than they were at this time yesterday by 20 degrees in some spots, 14 degrees warmer than this time yesterday here in Madison. Most of those temperatures, though, are in the 40s and 50s. A lot of 50s starting to show up, especially across the western half of the state. 54 in Mineral Point right now. Same for Perry, Duchesne, Platteville at 53, and then 40s closer towards the lakeshore, but even still upper 40s, 49 in Watertown right now. But those winds, folks, are out of the south. They're going to be increasing out of the south as we go throughout the day as well. In fact, by this afternoon, we're talking sustained wind speeds by as much as 15 to 20 miles per hour. When you get a strong south wind and sunshine, oftentimes those temperatures end up on the higher end of the forecast. That's why I think some folks will have a shot at 80. The only thing that could hinder that, though, there's a little bit of cloud cover starting to work in. And most of that will be across the northern half of the state, but don't be surprised if you see some cloud cover mixed in. There's some showers around the Twin Cities. Those are starting to fall apart. They're running into a little bit of drier air, but across the northern half of the state, I can't rule out the chance for a shower today. This cold front is gradually going to start to work its way towards the south as we go through the next couple of days. At the same time, a new region of low pressure is developing on the eastern side of the Rockies. That is gradually going to work its way towards Wisconsin. At the same time, though, that front is going to stall out. The region of high pressure towards the south is pretty strong. Waves of low pressure riding along that will mean more rain chances coming our way. Eventually, though, that starts to move south. We'll start to see some of those rain chances move on out of here. But for today, 56 by 9 o'clock, 71 as we get you towards lunchtime, and then topping out around 78. Watch how the cloud cover starts to move in overnight, and then into your Monday afternoon. Here are when we start to see those chances for showers and thunderstorms moving into the picture. This is the evening rush hour tomorrow afternoon with that chance for rain in the area, and we'll see more rounds of rain. So while I don't think it's going to be a complete washout of a day, multiple rain chances will be around as we go throughout your Monday, even into Tuesday, but then Wednesday, Thursday, and most of Friday looks pretty fantastic. Here's your pet walk. Ty enjoying the spring weather at the Middleton Dog Park. Pretty nice there.
Aren't we all?
I know, seriously. And I've got to give you some credit, Josh. So I didn't get to start at the desk with you because I had a massive nosebleed right before the show started and had to bail with like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I got a little on the shirt, but for the most part, I'm all good. But
you made it.
Yeah,
and I didn't have to pull double duty the entire show today.
I know.
I just had to be the weather boy for about 5 minutes.
5 minutes, but you did it. Good job.
All right, Chris, thank you. All right, 5:50 right now. If you're walking along East Wash today, stop in and check out the latest project happening there. Hotel Indigo has opened its doors. The unique hotel, rich in Madison history, officially made its debut April 11th in the old Mount's Paint Warehouse, featuring plenty of splashes of color as a tribute. It also incorporates photos of prominent local residents from years gone by, like Frank Lloyd Wright, Val Phillips, and Georgia O'Keeffe. While the hotel has been open for a few weeks, the restaurant inside, the Palette Bar and Grill, opens April 29th. We're also getting a sneak peek this morning of plans for a restaurant coming to the $60 million Monona Riverfront development. The new Buck and Honey's location will have designated boat slips for people coming in from Lake Wabisa and Lake Monona. The restaurant already has one location in Sun Prairie. This new space will seat 180 people in the main dining area, 150 people on the outdoor patio, and feature bars on 2 levels. That's set to open July 1st. All right, stay with News 3 Now this weekend, and join us tomorrow morning for some First Alert traffic updates to know about before your commutes this week. But first this morning, 80 years old and still kicking. Literally, we'll meet the Fierce Lady testing for her black belt and celebrating 8 decades too. That's when News 3 Now this morning continues. Welcome back at 7:55. Well, many people become sedentary in their later years. One Iowa woman is on her feet fighting back the clock, literally.
Cynthia Fedor introduces us to Mary Daly Lane. She was testing for her black belt for her 80th birthday this year.
Yeah. It's not what you expect to see in a martial arts class.
I'm not very big, and I'm old.
Yeah.
There it is.
A grandma about to turn 80, but make no mistake, you don't want to mess with Mary.
I know what to do, and I would fight dirty.
Mary Daly Lang started Taekwondo at age 65.
Very good.
Challenging her mind, pushing her body.
I had talked to our kids, our 2 sons and our daughter, about this and said, do you want me to buy long-term care insurance or do you want me to do Taekwondo? And they said, go for it, Mom.
This weekend, she went for it, her black belt. Farrell's adjusted the requirements for her, but watch. We were there as she tested, taking on one of the toughest tasks.
All right, Mary, let's get it. Let's do it.
Hey, you got this. I exude confidence. And part of the reason that I do that is because I know I can break boards with my bare hand.
Determined, disciplined, defying age. What keeps her kicking?
I believe that it is that you need to be active physically, socially, mentally, and spiritually. And it also means that whatever time you do have on this earth, you're going to be using it well. The other thing is, I admit, I have fun. And if I'm not having fun doing something, then I figure I've got to change what I'm doing.
Okay, she does not look 80.
She does not look 80 at all.
That's awesome.
I kind of laughed because they're like a grandma turning 80. That gives you a totally different picture. Wow, keep kicking,
Yes.
Mary. Wow, absolutely. Another wow is going to be the weather today. We're talking temperatures near 80 degrees for those highs, and I do think some folks will do it, keeping the fingers crossed. But we'll see some additional cloud cover rolling in later. Rain chances arriving into Monday with some showers and thunderstorms, but then after Tuesday, we start to dry out for a couple days before more rain chances arrive next weekend. But look at this forecast, folks. That is a springtime forecast. There are no temperatures below freezing.
That's incredible. Yep. All right, Chris, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. Have a happy Easter, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning.